Hi you guys, it's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, and I'm here with another weekly video and tip on creating an indoor space that really supports your health and wellness. This week I'm really excited. We're talking about more than just our indoor environment. We're talking about the water that's coming into our homes. So whether you have city water or well water, there are going to be certain contaminants that come in with the water, and it's really important to know what these contaminants are. Without knowing what is in our water, it can be almost impossible to treat it. And if you know exactly what's in the water, you can specifically choose filters that will remove those contaminants from your drinking water. So this week I'm really excited to share with you TapScore, which is a testing service that anybody can use. And I'm going to walk you through how that works coming up. I'm also going to be sharing with you some of the big contaminants that Environmental Working Group just discovered and put into some reports regarding water around our country. So this week's video slides are based on my blog post. If you are someone who likes to read the blog post, click the links, and really take your time going through it, I would encourage you to go to the blog post. I have it listed in the description of this video. If you're someone who is a little more visual, I think that you will get a lot from these slides, so let's get started.
So water is essential for so many parts of our day. Beyond just drinking water, we use it in cooking, cleaning, bathing, and most of us are using tap water for all of these applications, and most of us have no filters. The toxins that we ingest can be particularly harmful, and oftentimes we have no idea what's in our water at all. Until recently, many of us trusted that our water was pure and completely safe for us and for our families. And I know that every time a report is published that sheds light on just what is in our tap water, I am again shocked. This is usually followed by frustration, not only for myself, but for everyone else. I kind of think that gone are the days of blindly trusting what I buy, eat, and drink, and just regarding it as safe and healthy. I've come to the realization that I must research and verify these things on my own. But tap water can be tough because to navigate it, you're trying to figure out if it's safe and you're not sure where it's coming from. Water comes from all different areas at different times of the year and can change over time. And what's more is that our water sources are not necessarily constantly monitored to ensure that they're free from all contaminants. This is exactly why I think it's so important to test your tap water at home, and secondly, filter your water all the time. Understanding what you need to remove from your water is the best way you can help reduce the contaminant levels. Without this knowledge, you may be inefficiently using a filter or system that just isn't right for your home. So here's why it is important to test your tap water. As painful as it may be to find out what's really going on in your water, I think this is the best way to start. The biggest reason you want to know what is in your water is that it'll help you to determine which filter is going to work the best to remove contaminants from your water. Areas of the country can vary drastically when it comes to your tap water. If you live in an area with a lot of agriculture and farms, you have a higher risk of pesticide contaminants and nitrates, which will be filtered out differently in comparison to high levels of chlorine byproducts that can often be found in urban areas. When you're trying to figure out which filter is going to work best for your house and your family's needs, it's essential to know what you need to filter out of the water and if you'll need a whole house filter system or if you can use a point of use system just for cooking and drinking water. And really, the biggest reason you should have your water tested completely is because it's extremely important to know if you've been exposed to toxins that you need to seek medical help to detox from. Lead in water, especially for kids, is a serious problem because this type of toxin builds up in their systems and can lead to long-term health risks. The problem with ingesting toxins is that they're taking a one-way trip directly to our bloodstream, and on the way, they're affecting our gut and other systems. Having your water tested at home is vital for your health and wellness. And I recommend TapScore, which we're going to talk more about, and I send all my clients to their testing site. So here's how to test your tap water. I remember not all that long ago, I hunted and searched for a company that would test my water and not just sell me a water conditioning system. I wanted a comprehensive, full report of my tap water, and I wanted to know more than just what the pH was. I wanted to know if there were pesticides and if the levels of chlorine were more than what my city was reporting. I finally came across TapScore, and I found the easiest, most comprehensive report I've seen from a do-it-yourself kit. I think we can all agree that most of the time, what we want is just the details, no selling. You just want to know if you might have been exposed to a contaminant, and then you want to know how to fix it. So first, you need to know if your home has city or well water. The tests are slightly different for each of these, as there are different concerns for water from a well or water from a city. City water is often more contaminated by chlorine byproducts because the water is sanitized before reaching your home to remove bacteria. Well water, on the other hand, can contain higher levels of bacteria because there's no sanitizing system in place for an individual well. TapScore has water collections for both city and well water, which covers a wide array of typical contaminants. For example, the test for city tap water includes testing for VOCs, disinfection byproducts from chlorine, heavy metals, nitrates, and minerals. And the test will also tell you a little bit about your water's characteristics, like the pH level and hardness of your water. You can also get a few add-on tests if there's a particular contaminant that you're worried about in your area. The TapScore tests are so simple, which is exactly why I love them. They will mail you a container with instructions and a prepaid return container and label. You'll just fill up the water container and then fill out the information card. From there, you can mail your tap water sample back to them and wait for the results, which will arrive by email. TapScore also has a few options to add on DIY tests that you can perform at your home for bacteria and chlorine, which give you a quick look at a potential problem in your water in minutes. Step 4 is when you get your results and start filtering out your water, which we're going to talk about next. So what to do with the results? Once you have your results, you'll need to address the issues that have been detected. And again, I think the biggest hurdle in this whole process of cleaning your water at home is knowing what to get out in the first place. The report that comes back from TapScore will help you understand the levels of each contaminant in your drinking water. The next step you'll take is to choose a type of water filter that will remove most of the contaminants that have been detected. Depending on what you find, you may want an entire house system to filter out water for showers, baths, cleaning, and cooking, or perhaps you'll only need a drinking water filter specific to drinking water. The real key here is to know what's in your water specifically. Without this knowledge of what's actually in your tap water, you run the risk of getting a water filter that won't even filter out the toxic contaminant that you're worried about. The results are also really helpful in terms of your health and your family's health. Many of these forever chemicals and toxins build up with our system, and especially with children. If you continue to be exposed to toxins and chemicals in water, the body isn't able to detox them out fast enough, leaving you with a body that's constantly working to get back to normal. And this is what we talk about when we refer to body burden. It's when the body is burdened with constant toxins and can't get them all detoxed out fast enough. Oftentimes, this is when a lot of immune system issues arise and skin issues show up. These are signs that something bigger is going on with our health and possibly our environment. So these are the types of filters. You can get a reverse osmosis filter, a whole house filter. You can also get a carbon block filter and a water conditioner. The toxins that you need to get out right away while I think it's important to make changes quickly and swiftly if you have a problem, some contaminants are going to be more alarming than others. These toxins are red flags to me as an inspector and a healthy home expert, and I recommend intervening right away with solutions mentioned here. Lead is unable to be used by our bodies, and therefore it's absorbed and stored in our tissue, bones, and teeth. Children expose much more lead when ingested in comparison to adults, and it can re-enter the bloodstream and circulate throughout the body instead of being detoxed in kids. Lead exposure can result in some really awful health complications in children, including slowed growth, lower IQ, behavior problems, learning problems, hyperactivity, anemia, and hearing problems. If you're pregnant, lead can cause premature birth and can reduce the growth of the fetus. And even in adults, lead exposure can lead to decreased kidney function, reproductive problems, and increased blood pressure. Arsenic has recently been identified in several communities and is often a result of improper disposal of waste. Arsenic in tap water has been linked to an increased risk of cancer, and it is a known carcinogen. It has also been linked to a rise in diabetes, neurological effects such as memory function and intellectual function, especially when exposure happens during childhood. Arsenic in tap water has also been linked to cardiovascular disorders and diseases and has been shown to have an impact on pregnant women, causing preterm birth and increased risk of stillbirth. Mercury is another toxin that should be tested for in tap water as it's naturally occurring, and it's a metal that comes from soil and rock. It can also come from various sources of waste like burning of fossil fuels and medical waste. Mercury is most closely associated with neurological and behavioral disorders. It has been linked to tremors, insomnia, memory issues, headaches, and issues with the immune system, lungs, and kidneys. It's also a serious toxin that is very poisonous to the body and should be filtered out immediately. Normally, radon is tested for in air within our homes, but radon can also be in our water sources. The same concern for lung damage applies when there's radon in our drinking water as it gets into the air through evaporation when water is used at home. Radon in drinking water can also lead to an increased risk of stomach cancer as the toxin is ingested as well as inhaled. It has also been linked to bladder cancer when ingested. Nitrates can be found in groundwater, especially in areas with a lot of agricultural activity. Nitrates in water can be deadly for infants under 6 months old as it binds to the hemoglobin in their blood and it restricts the amount of oxygen in their blood. It has also been linked to birth defects when ingested by pregnant mothers. Nitrates have been linked to different types of cancer that affect the stomach and gastrointestinal tract. These are the filters that can really help you filter out your water, and I have coupon codes in my blog post this week for 10% off each of these through WaterDrop. This under-sink water filter system will decrease chlorine and effectively absorb lead, chloramine, fluoride, heavy metals, VOCs, and many more contaminants. Because the filter uses KDF media, it is also efficient at removing mercury. This is a reverse osmosis filter that uses an activated carbon block filter to remove atrazine, salt, nitrates, PFAS, fluoride, heavy metals, and arsenic, as well as other contaminants. It improves the taste and smell of your water to be near perfect, some say. Another option would be a 3-stage filter system. What it does is it removes larger contaminants down to smaller contaminants through these 3 filters. This one is known for removing chlorine, bad taste in water. It will actually remove radon. It can remove bacteria particles and much more. If you want links to any of the water filters, head to my blog post and I have a coupon code there. You can also get links to TapScore and I have a coupon code for that as well, which is HHOTB, and you can get 10% off of your TapScore purchase.
You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and learning a little bit about the water that comes into your home for drinking, bathing, and cleaning. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave a comment here or send me an email. Otherwise, you can head to my blog post at the bottom of the video description, and that will give you all of the links for anything that was mentioned in the slides. Otherwise, I will be back next week with another healthy house tip on creating an indoor space that supports your health and wellness.